Nestled deep inside the Bay of Bengal, more than 2 hours from the nearest inhabited island and 24 miles away from the mainland.
It's a much bigger island than I thought it was going to be.
Is a place the Bangladesh government doesn't want you to see. It's called Bashan Chor, which literally means floating island.
So you guys think they've seen us out here?
Yeah. It's the government's solution to the so-called Rohingya problem, a place to put tens of thousands of the refugees who have fled genocide in their own country. But there's been almost no access to the island, and other Western journalists have been turned away. So we are heading there in hopes of seeing what activists fear may become a prison island. For 3 years, we've covered the tragedy of the Rohingya, one of the most persecuted groups in the world. An ethnic Muslim minority, they have been targeted by the Buddhist military in their home country of Myanmar. There have been gang rapes, the torching of hundreds of villages, enslavement, and the killings of children, some before the eyes of their own parents. Over 10,000 people have died in what a recent UN report has called a textbook ethnic cleansing. These atrocities finally called out by the U.S. House of Representatives.
The United States has a moral obligation to call these crimes genocide.
Aung San Suu Kyi, Myanmar's de facto leader and Nobel Peace Prize laureate, has widely fallen from grace for her failure to condemn the violence in her country.
We want to find out what the real problems are, and we have to make sure that these allegations are based on solid evidence before we take action.
But despite Suu Kyi's denial, almost 1 million Rohingya have fled her country into neighboring Bangladesh. And now an international debate roils over what the future of the Rohingya should be. Just weeks ago, Bangladesh and Myanmar struck a controversial deal to repatriate the Rohingya in phases. But when buses arrived to carry refugees back to Myanmar, they refused to go. So for now, thousands of families are in limbo, and a new humanitarian crisis is underway. Here in Bangladesh, they're spread out between 32 different makeshift camps.
It is not a beautiful place to be, but they know it's a lot safer than it would have been if they just stayed in Myanmar.
Everywhere, there are reminders that this new life is tenuous, temporary. The rows of bamboo huts, their roofs thatched with aid group tarps. Nur Alam lives with his family in the Unchiprang refugee camp. The memory of being tortured in Myanmar is forever seared in his brain. The plan to repatriate worries him. He says it's too dangerous until they're granted full citizenship and are allowed to safely practice Islam. He says he would rather kill himself than go back now. But as the camps become overpopulated, safety, even here, is not guaranteed.
Even for those who get out of Myanmar and get here to Bangladesh, to these camps, there's plenty of danger. In fact, there are more rapes in these camps.
Here in this bare-bones women's clinic, Dr. Sadia Afroz has cared for many women like this one, who fled danger in Myanmar only to be raped by a man inside her own camp. Overwhelmed by shame, she came here for an abortion and support.
We save their life by giving the counseling and giving the psychosocial support.
Have you saved a lot of lives?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Here, they've also delivered hundreds of babies. The World Health Organization is expecting 60,000 children to be born in the camps just this year. For children, whether born or brought here, now this is their life.
So tell me what we see here. So what is this, first of all?
This is the waiting area. You come inside the center.
Yeah.
You wait here for your turn.
To do what?
To get ready to use therapeutic food and to get the hot milk.
Mahmoud Patwari is an aid worker for Action Against Hunger, an international NGO.
This is a center to treat severely acute malnourished children.
Their little arms are measured to screen for being chronically underfed.
So the tip, if it is in the red portion, that means severely malnourished.
Perhaps even more disheartening than the damage to their little bodies is the incalculable toll this trauma takes on the spirit of a child.
Oh, there's tears.
Yeah, tears, yeah.
Oh, so there's a picture they took originally of their mom or somebody crying.
Yeah, maybe somebody very close to them.
Their therapy, these crayons. Grief etched in every stroke.
So this one, military with a rifle. It's a grave with people, dead bodies in the grave.
It's a mass grave.
Mass grave.
Or the people watching those that have
So
been
that means that
killed.
these kids witnessed this violence. Now, and after 9 months of counseling, they are drawing happy things. Like happy family, the mother collecting water from tube well, father is praying.
These 6 little children live in this tent with their mother and father, but the memory of horrors left behind is still fresh. He shows us where he was stabbed by the military of Myanmar, also known as Burma.
Do you still have nightmares about what you went through over there in Myanmar?
She tells us that anywhere is better than back in Myanmar. But it's clear that not everyone agrees. In the middle of our conversation, a neighbor, Klas Ahmad, starts to yell at her. There's no future for us here, he says. And the place he would never move to, he told us, is that controversial island, Bashan Chor. So without seeking permission from the government, we made our way through the Bay of Bengal. The island is so isolated, it would be very difficult for the world to know what is happening to the Rohingya.
So should we go and try to walk ashore?
The docks are guarded by the Bangladesh Navy.
How many people are there?
But we spotted some workers and joined them as they trudged through the water.
So now we're on the dry land. I think it's going to be about half a mile in there, maybe half an hour. We don't really know.
They are building canals to keep out the water and structures that the Rohingya will eventually live in. The plan is for 100,000 Rohingya refugees to be jammed in small rooms with 2 bunk beds.
Each one of these rooms apparently can hold 4 to 5 people.
But this island facility has been largely denounced as an unsustainable living option by the UN and human rights groups. For one thing, each year as monsoon season comes, 60% of the island goes underwater. It is disappearing.
Is it a dangerous island?
No, it's
People
not
talk
a
about the
day.
possibility of flooding.
I have to see. I have not been there yet.
Despite the fact he hasn't seen it for himself, Bangladesh's foreign minister, Abdul Hassan Mahmoud Ali, still thinks that the island is a viable option.
What is the plan exactly? They should have the right to leave if they want and to move around the island if they want. Would that be the plan?
I mean, it's not a prison or anything like that. So everybody will see. There is nothing to hide, There is no hide and seek.
Is there a chance that some of the people here that are in the camps could move somewhere else to the civilian world of Bangladesh, or would they would go back?
We don't want them to do that, because then there will be problem.
Because that will encourage other refugees to come
No,
in.
not only that. That is one factor.
For Bangladesh, the island, the camps are all temporary solutions until the Rohingya can go back to Myanmar. But investigations reveal that some of the Rohingya villages the Myanmar military torched have already been resettled with Buddhist residents, making it almost certain that even if the Rohingya wanted to go back, there would be no homes to return to. For now, the Rohingya remain in purgatory.
You can see the little kids over there. So they're trying to get back to a normal life, but the dream for all of them is to return to Myanmar. They don't want to leave that country.
The home that doesn't want them, but is theirs all the same.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.